What's really going on here?
I guess the injury flared back up somewhere between when he flared up. Somewhere between when he injured it because he didn't start the game and didn't know how to get loose. And now, Russ has played averages about 29 minutes a game. And it seems kind of hard that guy that has a hamstring issue can play that many minutes, especially at the pace in which he plays the game. So it seems like this injury might have come up out of nowhere. Russ is averaging 10 points on 29% shooting, 8.3% from the three-point line. Russ has taken 11 wide-open threes. The NBA defines wide open as 6 or more feet between the shooter and the defender. He's made one. There's a reason why he's open. I don't know if he really noticed that. My thing is, Skip, and you know how I felt about this from the day it started getting mentioned, and we had to end up start talking about it. Russ should not be a talked about topic or subject for the Lakers. Last year, we can't do anything about that. They should have moved on by now. And because they're not, it is the cloud that's hovering over this organization that until something drastic happens, they send him home, they trade, whatever the case may be. Until that happens, sun is not coming out.
I agree.
My grandpa used to say, boy, sunshine follows rain. Well, it's raining because Russell is in the building. I'm not saying Russell is the one that's fault because everybody is shooting horrible. Everybody's taking ill-advised shots. But he's the fly in the ointment or the soup or whatever it is. That until it's resolved, I don't know if anything else can be resolved.
All right. I hear you. Before I dive into this, I'm going to make a prediction. If, in fact, Russ is out tonight, and I think that's by his own doing, by his own choice, I believe the Lakers will shock Denver. By the way, Denver hasn't been Denver just yet because they got blown out at Utah, and then they just the other night got blown out at Portland. So they're not invincible. They're 2-2. This would be the classic case, the classic opportunity for a basketball team with a cloud over, to use your meteorological comparisons. This would be the classic case to say the cloud just lifted. I don't know if Russ will make the trip or not. I don't know if he'll sit in civvies on the bench or not.
Well, it looked like he was making the trip because I saw a social media post where the Lakers, they're getting ready to take off, and it looked like he was on the trip.
All right. That's not great. But the point is, if he does not see the light of play tonight in Denver, even as a 6-point dog, I like their chances because I think it's an opportunity for LeBron and Anthony and everybody else to make a statement. We're just better off without him in our way because I think it's hardest for LeBron, number one, with the highest basketball IQ in the league, to rise above the lowest basketball IQ of a point guard in this league in Russell Westbrook. It's hard to rise above the contagious bad that his shooting brings to the starting lineup because it's so awful and it's so ill-advised and the turnovers are so comically bad that I think it has a chilling effect in a bad way, as in cold. It just makes everybody feel cold because you're trying to rise above that. And when he took that, you don't talk about ill-advised, when he went 2 for 1 the other day.
But Skip, and then he tried to offer an explanation of why he did it. Well, I was always taught you go 2 for 1. Not when you got the lead.
Not when you got the lead. It's 27.5 seconds left, and he pulls up and takes a mid-range jump shot that West bricks. And you've got the lead. And you're early in the clock, and you could just see LeBron and AD, you could see their body language like, what just happened? What are you doing? And then at the other end, LeBron loses a little heart, and he gets beat around the corner by Jeremy Grant, and then AD doesn't help, and all of a sudden he just sneaks in and snakes it in on the backside, and all of a sudden, wait a second, you're down?
Yeah. Skip, this thing, let's just say Russ just holds the ball. He doesn't give it up, and he lets the shot clock expire. There's 3.5 seconds. They're not going to even be able to get a shot off. You'd have won the game by 1.
That is correct. You had him. You had him, and he let him off the hook. Okay, so then what happened with 12.4 seconds left? Too little, too late.
Right.
But with 12.4, way to go, Darvin Ham. He stepped up and said, you come over here with me. And he put Austin Reeves in for Russell Westbrook. It's too little, too late because, okay.
That's what I was going.
Right.
I was going to use your term. You said it's too little, too late.
Okay, I got it. But at least he tried. But I know how Russ reacted. Wait, do you know who I am?
Right.
You're going to pull me while the game is still hanging in the balance?
Yeah.
I'm Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
I have to be out here on the floor. Well, Darvin tried it. I'm going to reiterate. We're going back to the final preseason game, and just before it, we had a Woj bomb drop from ESPN that Russ is being demoted. Darvin Ham steps up and says, no, we are realigning him to the second unit. He's going to quarterback the second unit. And I'm like, hooray for Darvin. I'm standing ovation on that one. And that night, final preseason game, Russ does not start. Russ goes in mid-first quarter, and you know what happened? He lasted 5 minutes on the floor, 5 clock minutes, 2 missed threes, 2 turnovers, and all of a sudden I look up and he's walking up the tunnel and he looks like he's a little gimpy, but I can't really tell. And he's got a hamstring issue. And then he has the audacity to blame it on Darvin Ham by saying, I didn't even know how to warm up. I pulled my hamstring because I don't know how to do this, because I've never come off the bench in my whole basketball life dating back to my little kid day.
Right.
So Darvin seemed to, he met with Russ, and then it felt like Darvin was apologizing publicly to Russ, saying, I would never put anybody in this organization in harm's way. And it came across like, sorry, Russ, I won't do that to you again. And I was shocked. We go to Golden State for opening night, and Russ is back in the starting lineup. And he played 31 starter minutes. And you know the rest of the story. He just kept on keeping on. We had an 0 for 11, and then we had the 2 for 1 shot, quote unquote. And yet, I was upset that Darvin put him back in the game. The moment they were up 8 with 4:42 left, that's when Russ went back into the game.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a bad idea because you can't let him close. Even if you let him start, you can't let him finish.
And normally, Skip, you ride. I mean, we see it all the time. The second unit, they do make a comeback or they're playing really well, and the coach just ride it out.
Yeah.
He just rides it out.
Sure. Okay. So it's pretty clear to me Russ is pouting again because he's saying, okay, coach. And again, you think he has that much respect for Darvin Ham? This is his first head coaching gig in the league, and it's for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I think the thing is that Darvin Ham might be the first coach that holds him accountable. Scotty Brooks didn't hold him accountable.
Heck no.
Dan Tony didn't hold him accountable.
No.
They let him do whatever he wanted to do. And now, and that's kind of like a child. You can give a child 1,000 lollipops. It's the one time that you don't give it to him is that he or she's going to throw the tantrum.
That is
going to fall on the floor, and then I have to fall on the floor with you to get you to get up. And so that's what's happening with Russ. Someone is finally trying to hold him accountable. And Skip, come on, bro. I've been doing my thing for 15 years.
Okay.
Why you coming here now all of a sudden? I'm a top 75 player.
All right.
Who are you? What's your record? You weren't the player that I am. You ain't got no championships as a coach. So why should I listen to you?
That is correct. That's what he's saying. He's looking down on a man who's 6 feet 7 inches tall and used to be an enforcer in this league.
Yeah.
A man's man. A man who's his own man.
Yes.
But I don't think he held Russ accountable that first go-around.
Right.
He tried and he failed. And I told you that I wondered, did Genie intervene or did Pelinka intervene from above saying we got to start him or we're going to destroy whatever credibility he has, whatever value he has on the open
Darvin,
market?
change the number in the coach's office.
Well,
so when they call it'll be the number you've called is no longer in service.
I was told that obviously that absolutely did not happen. Okay, so fine. Darvin, I thought he crumbled a little bit to Russ the first go-around, but at least he did stand up to him, and after the 2 for 1 shot, he yanked him.
Yeah.
And Russ didn't like it, clearly, and all of a sudden, he looked fine while he was out on the floor, and unless he pulled it in practice yesterday. Whatever they did, I don't know what they did. But I don't know anything about any hamstring.
Skip, a lot of times, Skip, look, you don't have kids, but sometimes when you discipline your kids, you're like, damn, you feel bad. But you know in the long term, this is what's best.
It's called tough love.
I know Darvin Ham, given Russ's credentials and what he's been able to do in this league, I know he's feeling bad, like, damn, man, this man is 15 years in the league. He's accomplished this. He's been an all-star, all-NBA player.
Yep.
He's been an MVP. But you have to ask yourself, in the long term, is this what's best for the team?
All right.
Because that's all that matters.
All right, I agree, which brings me to a classic quote yesterday from Anthony Davis. He said, I mean, it's crazy. People are forgetting who Russ is. No.
We know exactly
We
who he is.
know who he was.
Right.
We don't know who he is.
Right.
Because, well, I mean, unfortunately, we do know.
Yes.
Never in my career have I seen a great player decline as fast or get exposed as
Right.
quickly as he got exposed on the Lakers stage, a stage he has never been upon, or a stage he dreamed of being on as a kid, as a Laker fan growing up in the LA area.
Right.
But this guy's a disaster for this team.
Right.
And I think deep down, AD knows it. I think Darvin knows it. I know LeBron knows it. But they can't let go of the fact.
Can't get low to
Do you remember what he was?
Yeah.
Was he?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a guard play any harder on the offensive end, especially offensive rebounding?
No.
Nobody's ever attacked the glass the way Russ has.
The problem, this is what. Russ is the most, let's go ahead and put it out there. Russ was the most athletic point guard we had ever seen.
Ever.
But he
Agreed.
was not fundamentally sound. He could not shoot the basketball from the mid-range. He could not shoot the ball from the three, but he could attack the rim. Okay, his athleticism starts to wane. So if your athleticism starts to wane and you were never a mid-range shooter, you were never a deep shooter, and now you can't attack the rim, and when you get to the rim, you're only making less than 50% of your layups. Now where do we go, Skip? Where do we go from here? If you notice guys that doesn't have to have the athleticism, like, see, a guy like Luka Doncic, he's not relying on his athleticism. So he's going to be able to play an extended period of time because that's not what Tom Brady, a prime example.
Yep,
Just imagine if Tom Brady ran 4-4.
Yep,
and all of a sudden he can't run 4-4. But because he's fundamentally sound, he's not reliant on his legs. Russ is solely reliant on his athleticism, and that has waned.
It has.
And now he can't attack the rim like he once could. And once he gets to the rim, he can't finish like he once could. So now what does he do?
He should be sitting on the bench, if not being sent home. But it seems like Genie's saying, not over my dead body am I going to pay him $47 million to go sit it on his couch.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're stuck with him, you have to have the guts to stand up to him and not play him.
Right.
And if he's not playing, he's going to pout. And you've said many times, oh, how are you going to deal with all the waves he's going to make? You just ignore him.
Well,
I don't know. Who cares?
I'm finally decided might be coming around to you. Send him home. He'll get frustrated about being home and say, damn it, I'll take 90, 85% on the dollar and to get me up out of here.
Yep.
I want to go somewhere and play. And then we'll see how many teams jumps on the Russ train and says, okay, that's a guy that we need that can get us over the hump.
But he can't get any. Nobody thinks he can get you over the hump. But as an expiring contract, especially if you could just buy it out.
Well, if they send him home and he take pennies on the dollar, Skip, well, I ain't got to worry, but he won't have. I can sign him for a one-year deal, give him a league minimum or a vet minimum or exemption.
Yeah.
Exception? Yeah, exemption.
I'm going to say it again. I'm not sure anybody's going to want him to play at all next year. I'm not sure about that. That's where it's come to.
Well, I mean, all these players that saying we forgot who Russ was, that'll be the telltale.
It will.
It seems like a lot of these teams that must have forgotten also. They see him on a nightly basis. They know who he is. They get an opportunity to observe him up close. It seems like they forgot who Russ was.
Yeah, that's a fact. Whew.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Subscribe here to get the very latest from Skip and Shannon. Plus, go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.